Hello, this is Maria Lydeen, and I'm going to walk you through entering Electronic Superbill in eClinicalWorks. For those of you that don't know, we are going to be going onto an electronic medical record. This is the first step in that process. So I'm going to get you going here on the first step. You'll need to get to your Citrix desktop. If you need help on that, you can contact Cindy. But I think most of you know how to do that. You'll actually notice two eClinicalWorks icons on the desktop. This one is for South Lake Peds, and this one is for urgent care. So you can access eClinicalWorks urgent care database through this icon. You'll get to your login, which will be your first initial and your last name. Your password we will send to you in an email, and it is just a basic password. You'll need to change your password, which I will show you how to do. Okay, so this is eClinicalWorks. I'm looking at the receptionist screen for making appointments. The first thing I want to show you is how to change your password. You have a menu bar across the top and then a navigation band along the side. Under File, you'll find the Change Password option. Enter the password that you're given in the email and then change your password. Okay, so let's get into the Superbill. That is found in the scheduling area. You want to click on the letter S and then go to Office Visits. This will show all of the patients at your location for a specific day. We are doing our schedule by resource rather than provider, so as tempting as it might be to find yourself in here, you actually need to go under Resource and the location that you're in, and then I know it seems redundant, but you need to select the facility as well. So this will be the list of the patients that you've seen or that you're going to see. To access their Superbill, you want to highlight the name of the patient you want to put charges in for. And don't do what I always do, double click. That'll bring you actually into the patient's chart. You want to click the Billing Data button. And then the Electronic Superbill is basically a replica of our current pink bubbled sheet. It's just in an electronic format. So you'll have the patient information, their insurance, your name as the provider will be there. And there's several different Superbill options. The complete Superbill has everything front and back that our current Superbill has. But you'll notice it's rather cumbersome the way it lays out. So I've broken this into smaller pieces to make it a little more manageable. For instance, on the back of our current Superbill, we have the illness codes and the injury codes separated. So I've done that here as well. So if you want to find an injury code, you go here, and it should pretty much replicate the one that we have. To select the code that you want to use, you use the button to the left. eClinicalWorks requires that you select a primary diagnosis, and you select that by checking this box. And you'll just have one primary diagnosis. You need to make sure and hit Save. If you hit Close, anything that you've entered will not save. Okay, so I've got the diagnosis in here. If I go back to the complete Superbill, here are your office visits, new patient, established patient. The receptionists are going to be making this determination for you, and you can notice, even if you can't see the whole line, you know that this is the patient that you have selected because it's blue, and the visit type code in this case is established patient. We also have a code that's NP for new patient. So right here is kind of your little cheat. So I know that this is an established patient, and let's say it's a level 4 visit. And in this case, let's just say it's just an office visit. You can do save here, or if you decided you wanted to do an x-ray and it would be easier to go through the x-ray Superbill, you can go ahead and access it here, select your x-ray, and then save. These Superbills are interconnected. So if you go in the x-ray and select it, it will bring that and complete it on the complete Superbill as well. Now the medical assistants should be doing their part as well. If they do labs or x-rays, they can be completing that, and the receptionists are going to be trained in this as well. So actually, I changed between the two Superbills, and I didn't save in between, so it actually didn't save my office visit. So if you toggle between Superbills, you actually need to do save in between. Now in this case, my office visit ended up underneath my x-ray. If I wanted at the top, I can use these arrows to resort. And you can do the same with primary. If you have another diagnosis here and you wanted to switch which is primary, you can just click here and it will change it for you. If you have any notes for the business office, you can enter them here. There might already be some notes in there. We are going to be checking eligibility of insurance, and when that check is run, it fills in this area with that information. You can just put your notes beneath that. This is actually the last piece in the medical record, so this is the part where the system wants to know if there's follow-up needed. We will be using this in the future, if we determine so, but for now we're not. If you do done, you'll get this check mark here, which can be really handy to tell yourself that you are indeed done with that. A couple of things on that feature. Oh, and it is going to ask, you haven't assigned these, do you want to continue? Yes is fine, the billing office will take care of that. A couple notes, sometimes the check mark doesn't show up right away, and that's because of the refresh function in the system. Every 5 minutes a refresh is done, so depending on when that refresh was done last, will determine how long it takes till your check mark shows up, but it will. Another feature is, you'll notice when I have this highlighted, I can't really see the check mark. Kind of a funny little thing in the system. But that's it for entering the electronic Superbill. A couple of other things you might be interested in. There is an area here under File, Settings, My Settings. Each individual user can create some of their own settings. For instance, your default facility. Pediatricians are just going to be at urgent care for kids, and You know, some of you go back and forth, but if you want to pick your default, that can come in handy. Under user settings, there's also an option. That screen that you're using for right now is called office visits. You could put that as your default, and then it'll just bring you right to that screen. At some point you're probably going to want to select a different screen. It's up to you. And under defaults, you can select a default Superbill. Perhaps the medical assistants would be more likely to do this, to select lab. But it's easy to change when you're in there. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can contact myself. I am at 952-401-8290, and let me know your questions. Thank you.